How well do you really know Stephen Curry? Here are 10 facts about him that many fans may not know. First, Curry is actually black, but he looks lighter because his father is black and his mother is white, making him mixed race. Second, Curry has openly admitted that he likes his wife Aisha's feet, and she has even mentioned it several times during interviews and shows, while Curry was sitting right beside her. Third, Curry absolutely loves popcorn so much that during one road trip he once took 9 boxes of popcorn from an arena, and he even ranked the popcorn from all 30 NBA arenas, with Dallas first, Brooklyn second, and Miami third. Fourth, during the 2013 NBA playoffs, Curry played through injuries and received pain-killing injections twice, once in Game 4 of the first round, and again in Game 4 of the second round against the Spurs. Fifth, Curry and LeBron James were actually born in the same hospital, the Akron City Hospital in Ohio. Sixth, Curry's full name is Wardell Stephen Curry II, and many of his close friends still call him Wardell. Seventh, Curry's childhood idol was Muggsy Bogues, the famous shortest player in NBA history, who was also a teammate of Curry's father. Eighth, despite what many people think, Curry is actually very strong physically with impressive training numbers in the gym, though his wingspan is considered short compared with many NBA players. Ninth, Curry once suffered from a vision problem called keratoconus, which affected his eyesight, but wearing special contact lenses helped fix the issue and improved his shooting accuracy. And finally, Curry has 4 children: Riley, Ryan, Cannon, and Caius, showing that off the court, he is also a dedicated family man. In a recent interview, Kevin Durant talked about the moment he is getting closer to surpassing Michael Jordan's career scoring total, but instead of focusing on the milestone itself, he chose to express deep respect for the legend of the game. He said if he had stayed healthy and played 200 more games, no one really knows what might have happened. But at the same time, he admitted that the only reason he even has a chance to approach Jordan's record is because Jordan stepped away from the game twice. He calculated that Jordan missed several full seasons, and if he had played 300 more games with his incredible scoring average, reaching 40,000 points would have been very possible. He could have played well into his 40s and pushed the scoring record to a level no one could reach. And even if one day he does pass that number, it would still only be a number. In his eyes, anyone who truly understands basketball this being mentioned in the same conversation is already something special, and to him Jordan has never been just a player who scored 32,000 points. When the sweat falls again inside that quiet garage in Hamilton, the man once doubted by many is still putting in the work. This is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander back in 2012. A skinny kid was told he wasn't built for basketball, and was even cut from a team people said he didn't have the body or the talent, but when he got home his mother reminded him that label. Don't define your future, he didn't argue. He just made a promise to himself to work harder than everyone else, while others were resting. He was already in the garage training, repeating the same moves again and again to improve every detail. In high school, he started from the bench, spending his days practicing and his nights studying the game, learning how to read defenses and control the pace. Slowly, he began to stand out, not because of raw athletic, but because of his intelligence and composure. When he entered college, he was not expected to lead, but he quickly proved himself, becoming a key player and guiding his team deep into the tournament in 2018. He was drafted and moved between teams early in his career. Many saw him as just another young player with potential, but not a future star. However, under the guidance of experienced teammates, he learned how to control the game and elevate his performance year after year. His numbers improved from a role player to a consistent scorer, and eventually to one of the league's top performers. Even when people questioned parts of his game, he stayed focused and continued to improve while others took breaks. He returned to that same garage, putting in the work, because he understands that criticism often comes with growth, and the only real answer is performance. He was called the most troublesome locker room problem, yet also the most artistic player on the court. He hit one of the greatest shots in NBA history, yet also sparked one of the most chaotic locker room situations ever. This is the story of Kyrie Irving in the 2016 finals. With 53 seconds left, he faced Stephen Curry and drilled the championship-sealing three-pointer, becoming a hero in Cleveland and a champion maker. But just 1 year later, he requested a trade, wanting to leave LeBron's shadow and prove he could lead his own team in Boston. He became the leader and even promised fans he would stay. But after a season filled with conflict and disappointment, he broke that promise and left again. In Brooklyn, he teamed up with Key Kevin Durant and James Harden forming one of the most powerful offensive trios ever, but controversy followed, as he refused to play due to vaccine issues, igniting the downfall of the super team. Harden left, Durant moved on, and the dream collapsed. He was labeled selfish, a team destroyer, and a problem player, criticized by the world and abandoned by the just when people thought his career was over, the Dallas Mavericks gave him another chance there. He changed, becoming a reliable leader beside Luka Doncic, leading the team to the finals and silencing critics with focus and humility, regaining respect. But fate struck again as he tore his ACL, ending his season just when he was closest to redemption. Yet this time, the world saw something different. A 33-year-old warrior giving everything for his team. He was once a champion, once a villain. He stood at the top and fell to the bottom. He spent the first half of his career fighting the world, and the second half making peace with it. You may never understand all his decisions, but when the game is on the line and a team needs someone to take the toughest shot, giving the ball to Kyrie Irving is always the right choice. This team was so dominant, people joked that anyone could coach them and still win a championship. Welcome to the story of the greatest team ever assembled, the 1992 Dream Team. After the disappointment in the late 80s, USA Basketball made a historic decision to bring together the best professional players and the world legends like Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Char. Barkley, Karl Malone, David Robinson, John Stockton, Scottie Pippen, and more. When these players stood on the same court, the entire sports world was shaken, and they were given a name that would echo through history: the Dream Team. Later joined by Clyde Drexler, this legendary squad became a collection of superstars like never seen before. To prepare them, a group of top college players was brought in for practice, and in a surprising moment, the Dream Team lost a scrimmage, a result that woke them up completely. The very next day, they responded with intensity, dominating their opponents and showing their true level. Once they arrived at the Olympics, they were unstoppable, winning games by huge margins, overwhelming every opponent with skill, speed, power. Their chemistry and confidence made them look untouchable even against strong international teams. They controlled every game and set a new global standard for basketball. In the final, They secured the gold medal with ease, proving their dominance to the world. This team did more than just win, it inspired a generation and changed basketball forever. Many teams have tried to recreate that greatness, but there will only ever be one true dream team. A once unknown black kid boldly declared in front of all the doubters that he would become the strongest player in the league. In 1991, he won his first championship. In 1992, he defended the title, and in 1993 he completed a historic three. In 1996 and 1997 he reached the top again, building a. This man never broke his promise and became the god in the hearts of basketball fans. The universally recognized greatest player in basketball history, Michael Jordan. However, Jordan's basketball journey did not start smoothly. In high school as a sophomore, he could not even make the varsity team, but he refused to accept his fate and trained relentlessly, growing from about 1.80 meters to 1.93 meters in one summer. With improved height and incredible skill, he entered University of North Carolina, where head coach Dean Smith quickly noticed his most valuable quality, the habit of constant reflection and improvement. After every game, Jordan would analyze what he could do better, and after every training session, he challenged teammate James Worthy to one-on-one battles. And although Worthy was stronger at first, Jordan's insane improvements soon allowed him to catch up. Jordan quickly became a core player, leading North Carolina into the national championship game against Georgetown Hoyas men's basketball. With 32 seconds left, North Carolina trailed by 1 point, and Coach Dean Smith chose to trust the freshman Jordan with the final shot, and Jordan delivered, hitting the game-winning basket and leading North Carolina to the championship of the NCAA Division I men's basketball tournament, marking the beginning of a legendary journey that would eventually lead him to the highest stage of basketball, the National Basketball Association. Is this even a human or an alien dominating the NBA? And Victor Wembanyama sent Tari Eason's layup flying. The game instantly changed. The moment Wembanyama stood on the court, the San Antonio Spurs controlled everything on both offense and defense. In just 29 minutes, he shot 9 for 13 and dropped 29 points with 8 rebounds, 2 steals, and 4 blocks. But the stats still cannot explain his true impact. His massive wingspan covered the entire court, and every player attacking the rim had to think twice. It felt less like a normal NBA game and more like an alien-level performance taking over the stage. So, you think Wembanyama will become the next NBA super legend?
What time is it?
He could boost the American GDP by billions with just one sentence. Yet this man known as a god once hid in the locker room and cried after winning a championship. This is the story of Michael Jordan, born in Brooklyn, New York in 1963 when he was 15. His high school coach pointed at him and said you are not suitable for basketball because he was only about 1.7 meters tall at the time. But when he returned home, his father told him to learn to accept doubt because those doubts should become the motivation that drives him to practice every morning before sunrise. From that moment, the boy who refused to eat until he made 100 three-point shots turned extreme training into his daily routine, doing pull-ups and endless practice until he forced his body to grow from 1.78 meters to 1.98 meters, and rewrote his name from the list of players cut from the school team to the NBA draft list in 1984. He was selected third overall by the Chicago Bulls in an era dominated by centers. Nobody believed this relatively small guard could dominate the league yet. In his rookie season, he averaged 28.2 points per GA, but he was often isolated by other superstars during that year's All-Star game. Larry Bird refused to pass him the ball, and opponents led by Magic Johnson constantly double-teamed him. Those humiliations only strengthened his determination to step on every so-called superstar. The following year, injuries forced him to miss most of the season, and by the time he returned, it was already the playoffs, just as fans wondered whether Jordan's peak would suddenly end. He exploded for a legendary 63-point game in his second game back, making Larry Bird famously say it was God disguised as Michael Jordan. The Detroit Pistons even created the infamous Jordan rules, using brutal defense and constant physical punishment to stop him, and many media outlets even claimed the only way to beat Jordan was to destroy him physically, but they never realized their attempts to stop him were simply building the crown of a future king in the winter of 1991. Jordan finally defeated the Pistons, averaging 31 points and announcing the arrival of a basketball god. From 1991 to 1993, he led the Chicago Bulls to 3 consecutive NBA championships. But after the season, tragedy struck when his father was murdered during a robbery. Jordan shocked the world by retiring from basketball after he left. NBA ratings dropped dramatically, while the baseball games he played were often sold out as fans around the world begged him to return. On the 7th of March 1995, a video of Jordan appearing at the Bulls training facility went viral, and days later a message shocked the entire world. I'm back. On the 16th of June 1996, Jordan led the Bulls to another championship, and that day happened to be Father's Day. After the game, he collapsed on the floor, crying, and said this was the best gift for his father. Perhaps even the greatest God is still just a son in front of his father, and the 6 championship trophies are simply the proof of a legend who taught the world how to fly. Because true flight is not only the leap of the body, but the spirit that never gives up on victory.